guys, so today I am doing a little bit of a different video. This is going to be a do's and don'ts video for hooded eyes. So if you watch my videos, you may know or have noticed that I have hooded and downturned eyes. So I got the best of both worlds, you know? So I am going to show you in this video my tips and tricks. So keep in mind, some of these that work for me may not work for you depending your eye shape. And everyone's hooded eyes can look very different. There's a lot of different types of hooded eyes. So just keep that in mind. These are my tips and tricks and this is what works for me. And I just thought that I would share it with you guys. So if you are interested in learning some of these tips and tricks, just keep on watching. Alright guys, as you can see, I already have my brows done. I just did them how I normally would. So the first tip that I have for you guys with hooded eyes is to prime your eyes. So priming your eyes is really going to help your shadow to stay on, and as you can see, I do have foundation on my eyes because when I do my foundation, I usually put a little bit on my eyelids just to get rid of any redness or any veins that might be showing. So as you can see, that's already creasing. So the exact same thing is going to happen to your shadow as well. So I am going to take my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This is personally my favorite primer. You can use whatever primer you want. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the finger. Now you don't need a whole lot of product. This will be my do eye, this will be my don't eye. So I'm just going to start by putting my primer all over my lid and all the way up to my brow bone. So this is just going to make sure our shadows stay in place. It's going to prevent them from creasing, and I find it also helps the color to stand out a little bit more from the shadow. I just like to pat it, don't be too rough on your eye. So this eye, we're not going to prime it, we're just going to leave it as is. So once you wait a minute or so for the primer to dry down a little bit, I know with MAC paint pots, they don't dry down completely because they're actually a cream shadow. So what I like to do is set that primer in place. So any matte, this is key, a matte neutral eyeshadow will do. So I'm going to take the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette and I'm taking white chocolate. So any matte neutral color will work. So I'm just going to take a little bit on a brush. Now, I'm not going to apply any to my lid. I'm going to keep this solely in the crease and all the way up to my brow. So I'm just going to start by sweeping that through the crease. Now, if I skip this step, I find that it's just a lot harder to blend out my shadows and they don't blend out as seamlessly. They tend to look a little bit choppy and chunky and they're just a lot harder to blend out. So just going through the crease to my brow bone, and then since I bring my shadows out a little bit further, I'm just going to set near my brow, like out past my brow as well. And of course, for the don't side, we're not going to do anything with that eye. So I decided I'm going to do just a basic smoky eye for this look, just to show you what I would normally do for smoky eye. I do have tutorials, but this is a little bit more in depth. So for the don'ts, we'll start with the don'ts. One thing you never want to do is put shimmer in your crease. You always want to stick with mattes in your crease, and the reason for that is because it recedes the hood on the eye. When you put shimmer on, it brings it forward, so it's bringing more attention to the hood on your eye, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So mattes in the crease are absolutely key. The only time I will put shimmer in my crease, and I'll show you, is if it's in the kind of bottom corner of my eye, but I never use it as a transition color or through the middle of my crease. So I'm just taking this Morphe 35K color and I'm just going to pick up this color right here. This is going to be for the don't side. So I'm going to use a fluffy blending brush and I'm going to take a lot of product. And we're just going to start applying this through the crease of my eye. Now, as you can see, they don't blend as nice through the crease on hooded eyes. And all they're doing is bringing attention to that hood. So for the do side, I am going to take a neutral matte shadow. This is Urban Decay's Naked, and I like this one because it's a light matte brown color, and it's a really awesome transition color, so you can pretty much put any cool toned or warm toned shadow with this, and it's gonna blend flawlessly. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of product. So I always start with a little bit of product because it's easier to build up the product than to take the product away once you already have it on. So just a little bit of product on the brush. Now if I look straight into the camera, you can see that my hood is more so in this area here. So that's the part that I most want to push back. So that is where I'm going to start with my brush with the most amount of product. So I like to tilt my head back because that way I can see my crease more. And I'm just going to apply a light amount of pressure and start blending through the crease. Now I like to do windshield wiper motions back and forth. And then I like to circle my brush as well because I just find that it helps to blend it upwards a little bit more and give us that gradient effect. And once I get less product on my brush, that is when I start blending it out towards the tail of my brow. And I find that this just kind of lifts the eye. So I have both hooded and downturned eyes, so I have really tricky eyes to work with. But I have learned over the years how to make them look more wide awake and everything. So as you can see, this eye has nice definition to it. The matte color is making the hood recede a lot more. This side, the shimmer one, is bringing forward that hood a lot more and emphasizing it. Another tip that I have for the crease is to use 2 to 3 colors in your crease. It really adds more depth and definition. I just like the way it looks personally. So I like to usually add 2 colors in the crease. So I'm going to be using Fawn by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this time I am going to be using another blending brush, but it's a little bit more tapered. So I'm going to be using the MAC 224, and that is this brush right here. So again, start with a little bit of product and you can always build it up. And again, I am starting right in the middle with a light amount of pressure and just blending it back and forth. And as I get less product, blending it back towards my tail of my brow. Now I'm going to show you how I do add shimmer on the outer corner of the eye. I'm going to take Hazelnut from the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm going to use a 217 brush for this. So again, always start with a little bit of product. And I am just going to focus it on the lower half of my eye. Not even the lower half, the outer corner. And as you can see, I'm not taking it too high up into the crease, just in that lower area. And I'm not dragging it down. I'm trying to bring the product more up and out, because that will make our eyes look more open and wider, and it'll lift them as well. So that's pretty much all I would put for shimmer color in the crease, is just on that outer corner there. So for the lid, my one tip to do is to re-prime your lid. This is really going to help that color to adhere to the lid. If you don't do this, throughout the day you'll notice that your lid color transfers to your crease, which is adding usually shimmer again to the crease. So I'm just going to take it on a flat shader brush and just apply it on my lid. Again, you don't need a whole lot of product. This product goes a long way. For my lid, I usually like to use a light shimmery shade. So I am going to use Marzipan. This is again from the Chocolate Bar palette. I just grabbed this palette just because I know it has lots of good neutral colors in it. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and apply it right over top of that paint pot, and it really helps it to adhere, and it'll prevent it from transferring as well. I'm just going to touch up that outer corner and just blend everything. Really key for hooded eyes is, I find eyeshadows on hooded eyes are a lot harder to blend, so you really need to work at it and take your time with blending. And I'm just going to apply that same shadow on this side, but without priming it. And let's add a little bit of that outer corner as well. We're gonna drag this one lower too, and a little bit more through the crease. So see how this eye looks a lot more droopy and this one looks more lifted. And I'm just gonna go back through the crease just to redefine. This is using Fawn again by Anastasia. I personally love to highlight my brow bone, but there is a good way and a bad way to do it on hooded eyes. So I'm going to show you using Bubbly. This is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills That Glow Kit. And I like to use a 217 brush for this as well. So I like to just take a little bit on my brush, of course. And I'm going to start right in the arch. So just place the product there. And keep the product close to your brow. You don't want to drag it too low because I will show you what that does in a second. So as you can see, it just gives it a nice highlighted effect and just lifts the eye up a little bit more. Now this is what not to do. Basically, we're just going to slap it on there and blend that color down into the crease. Again, just because there's shimmers in the crease, it's bringing forward that hood and accentuating it and emphasizing it, and that is not what we want. And I am just going to highlight the inner corner as well. I like to use my 217 brush again. So just applying it in there. I like to bring it a little bit up because I find that it opens up the eye. The main thing is that you don't want to drag this product too low like this. You don't want to bring it up through the crease either. So this is nice and steadily highlighted, and this is just too low, too into the crease. It is not cute. I'm gonna go ahead and do my liner off camera, and then I will be back and I'll just show you guys kind of what I did and explain it because I cannot for the life of me do it on camera. Okay guys, so I finished up the liner. As you can see, this eye, I made it very chunky, very thick. When I have my eye open, you basically can't even see my lid color anymore, so that is what you don't want to do. This side, I made sure that the wing went nice and up and outwards. I lined it up with my lower lash line to give me a guide, and then I made it nice and straight, and it's a little bit thicker on the outer corner, and then it tapers in. If I do it a little bit too thick from here to about here, then you can't see my lid color. So I like to make mine nice and thin. So that is the difference between the two. Now I'm going to see if I can find my lashes, and I'm gonna apply a pair that look good on my eyes and a pair that look really bad on my eyes. So again, I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and applied some lashes. Now, as you can see, I'm not even gonna name the brands, it really doesn't matter, but these ones completely take over my eye. You can't see my shadow anymore. They're just too much for my eye shape. Now these ones are nice and light and fluffy, so they look glamorous, but you can still see my shadow through them, which is what we want. I put these ones on a little bit too close. Normally I would put them a little bit more out this way, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you on the lower lash line what I do and don't like to do. So we'll start with the don't. If you watch my videos on the regular, you'll know what I don't like to do, and that is putting eyeliner in my lower lash line. So that is what I'm going to do right now. So as you can see, it just kind of closes my eyes up a little bit more. So on this side, I am only going to use shadow. So I'm basically gonna do everything that I did to my crease. So we'll start with Naked. I'm just gonna apply a little bit on a dome shape brush. And for my eyes, I want that more round shape. So I'm going to start right in the middle and just start blending it out. If you want your eyes to look more open, you can just focus it on the outer corner. I find that looks really nice too, but I am just going to show you what I normally do. So then to add a little bit more definition, we're gonna go in with Fawn again and do the exact same thing. And then to finish up the eye, I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara. So on this eye, I'm just going to slap it on there, make them look kind of spidery, which if you like that, that's cool, but that's just not my thing. And then for this eye, we're just going to apply a nice light layer. So I find that this just helps to open up the eye some more and add a little bit more definition. Oh, so this is the Dew. And this side is the Don't. So that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Remember to subscribe to my channel and leave me any comments or suggestions down below on what you guys would like to see next. I will see you guys in my next video.